Hey everyone, how are you? Ashley Amudzai here. I am so excited to come to you with another Thought Leader Thursday. Happy August 1st. And I'm really excited to introduce my friend, Keia Lavine. Keia, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So Keia is absolutely fantastic. How long have we known each other, by the way?
Oh, wow. Couple of years at least.
Like, I would say at least maybe 5. Yeah?
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been a long, long time, and I have seen her growth, and I have seen her power and her wisdom, and just in all of her grace. And I've been following you for a long time, like just by default, because we're in the same circles. And so I'm so excited to have you featured here today. Keia, she is a psychic medium, an extremely powerful psychic medium, and also medicine woman, and you wear a million other hats. So how about you share with our audience, like, who are you and what do you do? What are all the hats that you wear?
Oh, my Lord. Okay, so first of all, I am a soul wrapped in skin. Just kidding. Oh, so many hats. It's so true. So it almost sounds just obnoxious, like when I say it, but I have been a very determined person and an overcomer, and in pursuit of through my awakening and through owning who I am and reclaiming aspects of myself and working through shamanic practices and owning the archetypes that I am, having realized, my passions and what my natural gifts are, owning that I am a psychic medium, which took years of healing to actually say that in public. And also what I identify with is the medicine woman, the archetype itself. Among other things, I'm a board certified holistic health practitioner, certified here in Reno, Nevada, in the state of Nevada, and I am a studio owner for the Wild Moon Holistic Arts Studio. I also am a Reiki master and a vibrational energy medicine specialist and an energy medicine specialist, also board certified through the Energy Medicine Practitioners Association. And what else? There's a yoga nidra teacher. I'm also a bhakti yoga teacher and an Akanda Shakti yoga teacher. So that's kind of ridiculous. And so it's not ridiculous. I want to cancel those words out. It's really been my joy and pleasure to have learned these paths and these skills. Also a Vipassana meditation instructor and teacher, and that is a Buddhist practice of mindfulness and meditation through the focus of breathing, and pranayama teacher, and I'm a mother of 2 incredible young men that are just beautiful and obnoxious and trying and challenging, and they are my greatest teachers. And I also run the Wild Woman Project, New Moon Circles. And I don't know, this is getting annoying.
No, I know what tells me about you. Oh my gosh, there's a little bit of feedback. Bummer, I don't have my mic. That's okay. What tells me about you is that you have so much to offer. You have this wide menu of specialties, which are so powerful. And you can combine all of those into a tailored session for that person, which is really cool. Maybe they're going to need some yoga, some breath work, also the psychic aspect that's going to be coming in, as well as, I think it's so beautiful that you have all these things that you can combine together. And so with that, clearly you have all of these options and these modalities to pull from. What does that look like in working with you? What does a typical session look like? Or what types of sessions do you have?
So beautiful that you asked that. It's with working with individual clients, I do see the draw is mostly about the psychic mediumship, and because that's awakening in everybody. Everybody is starting to awaken to their psychic nature. And in case you're watching this, everyone is psychic. You're born psychic. Yeah. You have these gifts, and it expresses in many ways. And so having that draw with that in client sessions is incredible. I do believe that no matter what field or modality I'm working with, primarily per the client's request, it is all intuitively led. Mm-hmm. And I let that run the show all the time through spirit, through my intuition, through my gifts. And sometimes, you know, and I'm sure it's happened with you, you'll have a client telling you all these symptoms and you just feel that it's an entirely different wounding or something, you know, over here. And I really try to respect that first and foremost. I do market it as a holistic health practitioner's visit. Like, you can come see me either as for a psychic reading or healing session, intuitive healing session, or a holistic health session. And with the modalities that I'm trained in, it is different for every single client. Sometimes there's an aspect of bringing in a vibrational therapy, such as color therapy or light therapy, essential oils, you know, anything that has these vibrations, binaural beat healings, stone healing. And I use a lot of those modalities as a support to the big Shabbat shebang, which is, of course, the energy medicine, the psychic medium, the medicine that I bring or allowed to channel through me. I think it's a lot of trusting yourself, learning to trust yourself and trust that spirit is going to move through you, and to let the stuff fall out of your mouth that needs to be said, but approaching that with softness and grace and intuition, and also that care and compassion that this person, this being in front of you, is seeking help in ending of suffering in some way, and to be mindful of the words and how it's come across.
Mm-hmm.
With the holistics, it's a lot of diving in deep for those other questions, you know, for like, you know, I always have these symptoms, or I've had like, you know, women symptoms, you know, ovarian problems, you know, being able to address these all from not only the standpoint of a very esoteric field, but also from a metaphysical field, combined with, you know, very like even Western sciences. I really look forward to like the blending of all of us. We're all pieces of the puzzle, and it's not about us against them. The Western medical is failing. You know, we have a piece that they need. They have a piece that we need. And it's really about softening into hearing that client, hearing that patient that's in front of me a little bit deeper, and letting that intuition run it, and like hearing cues. Like, you know, if they're speaking of words of they've been angry, or if they've been having problems with their gut, you know, looking into, okay, maybe the liver is holding on to some anger. So how can I support that with not only plant medicine, but doing some vibrational therapy, doing some Reiki also, and putting this into a session to where I know that they're going to walk out not only with the session that has happened and the healing, but also with tangible physical tools in on a list that they can see, and they know the to-dos to go out and support themselves better. I remember in my early days, like when I was seeking help for physical ailments, I just needed like an A, B, and C. What do I need to do? I want to fix me. I'm smart enough. I'm strong enough. I don't know what's wrong with me. You don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I'm having all these weird physical symptoms. Just give me an A, B, C, and D. Well, we don't know. You could try this medication. And like, it was so heartbreaking for me because I was so scared. And it was the fear that was, you know, perpetuating things. So going home, like I self-treated, you know, I did binaural beat treatments and tried to reprocess, and EMDR treatments. And I've been through every single modality that I now full-heartedly preach and practice and offer. And yeah, it's just been such an incredible transition from where I started, which was going into the path of yoga. You know, that was something that I saw brought so much healing to so many people with just physical movement and moving through the energy system in the body. And it was just like, whoa, what is this? And with my passion for like quantum science and quantum physics and quantum realms and reality and theories, like it just started to tie everything together, that all of these are pieces of the whole.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, client sessions are generally booked at an hour, but to be very honest, mine are very much led by spirit. So sometimes they're 2, sometimes they're 3. And I also incorporate like shamanic drumming and humming, toning, rattles, you know, whatever is really called for in the moment. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing and awesome. So I love that. I can easily see, I've had many sessions where you're like, this is what we think we need to work on. And then it turns into like 2 hours later, because this is what we actually need to do. And we want to make sure that once we've come apart and we've like everything that you said, we feel like spirit just let that fall out of your mouth. Then we want to make sure that everything is integrated that is necessary for us to move forward after the session, because it is such deep work. This isn't like a chiropractic appointment where you're like tweak, 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 and you're done. Like,
see you later.
yeah. See you later. Like, don't sit funny. It's so much deeper than that, which I love. I'm so grateful that we're in this industry. And so that's really cool. And who is your ideal client, would you say? Like, do you work with men and women? Do you do virtual?
Right now, at this point in my life, I definitely am working with more women than I am with men. I do see that because I work a lot with the Rising Divine and the Wild Woman Project, the New Moon Circles, and in my work, having that relation in those circles, there's a lot of women with questions and it's really about the empowerment. I really feel this draw and call to, at the end of the day, fulfill the empowerment of the Rising Divine and everybody. And that is inclusive of men. However, at this time, it's more women that I work with. And I think a lot of that is because, they say that your clients, whoever you're seeing or is coming to you, are aspects of you that are still working on, it's that whole mirror effect. So I think there's definitely this room and this space in me to own even more bits and pieces of who I am as a woman and reclaim it and rename it and re-empower it to bring life to it as well. So every woman that I see and I work with, it's giving them physical tools. It's doing the medicine with them, letting them experience that, opening that dialogue of questions of who are you and what do you want? What is your purpose and passion? Find one thing today, one thing to move forward with. So idealistically, in the future, I'd love to be open to working with, of course, everyone, and, inclusive of children too. I really have dreams of, we've talked about like this a little bit, like a psychic circle for children, really empowering these young ones coming up that are full blown open with their gifts. And there's not a lot of guidance at that age. There's not a lot of help or tools that are shared. And so that would be really exceptional. And of course, I'm a visionary and I have all these dreams and goals and ambition and ideas. It's really about collecting my energy in to get the time. And so I still feel like I'm in that fast track of the spiritual academy of the universe, I'm in like going into like the ending of the master's degrees or whatever. It's been a lot of focus, a lot of work and dedication.
When you get into this industry, you realize I guess it is an industry, but when you get into this field and this line of work, you realize there's so much more. Like it's unreal. But we do like such great growth. I'm so grateful. And I love when you'd mentioned about the kids, I kind of forgot because we had talked about this. This has been something that was on my mind, is that having that sacred circle with kids and helping children like even get comfortable with sound healing. Like so these aren't foreign terms or experiences for them, but it's something that becomes very natural. It's in a safe place to ask questions and to really explore that. So if you guys are watching this and you're curious, maybe you're interested in doing something like this, or you have children who I mean, everyone, again, as Keia said, is psychic. It's just what we do with those gifts and how we recognize them as gifts. It took me a long time. I thought everybody had what I had.
Yeah.
And actually, it was like 2 years ago when I like officially came out as a psychic, because I was like, oh, I guess I'm a little bit different. And so I don't want, like Presley, my daughter is 4. So with Presley, like we work on her. I'll say, show me. It's really cute. Show me your superpower. And what we do is she goes like this and she closes her eyes. And then I bring my hand up to hers. And then when she can feel it, the tingles, then she'll open her eyes. And I was like, say electromagnetic field. And she's like, I was like, hey, it's an aura. It's your sacred space. It's so beautiful, like what we're cultivating, what we're able to create together. So I love that. I love that you mentioned that. So one of the other questions that I had is about testimonials. Like, I'm sure that you've had so many clients come in and you just rocked their world. Are there any clients that stand out to you?
Yes, there's one client, of course, under HIPAA, I can't mention names or details, but the gist of the session was this. I was really in this very empowered place And it felt like, you know, the flow of spirit was just really a lot stronger than usual. And I had more clients than usual. And I had this one client in the midst of it who asked if they could record the session. I'm like, of course, you know, I got all excited, you know, like, yes, record it. And I'm so glad to this day that they did. So during the session, like, we're doing just a full on reading, and I just can, you know, I'm just seeing and relaying a lot of the different things that I'm seeing. And in the session, the client begins to like get upset and argue and say no. And so, you know, like, as a psychic, and when you're really trusting spirit to lead you in a lot of these things, or what you see, and you're trusting your own gifts, you know, when someone says, no, that's not true, it kind of like, it could throw you off for a minute, you know, you get like, oh, are you sure? You know, but there was no doubt in my being. And I was just, you know, actually da 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 da. And I went through a few more times, and I could just feel her, you know, just getting like, no, 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 this is wrong. I've wasted, you know, all those thoughts in her head were just projected out because she was wide open with me in this session. And it was like reading her mind. And so I'm like, towards the end of the session, I'm trying to keep most of this very private, but towards the end of the session, you know, I went over it again, and I'm like, all I can do is offer what I see and translate that. And this is my gift, and it's just an offering. And she left a little upset. She left like she had felt like I didn't serve her in what she was seeking. And, you know, it was very verbal about that. So it wasn't an assumption that she felt that way. So when the session was over, and I closed space and I cleansed myself, and I just took some time in prayer, I was just like, I trust this. I trust it. I trust it. I trust it. I trust it. You know, if this is me walking into my own power of trusting this, then I'm walking. And it was 3 days later, which is usually the mark for all my clients. It's like 3 days, and then they, you know, she calls me and she's like, oh my God. She's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, that was amazing. And I get it. And I've listened to that recording all over it, and it all makes sense now. And she's bawling, and she ended up, you know, becoming very close to me and stuff. And yeah, so it was a really incredible experience, especially that was a couple of years ago that happened. And
Did you think it was like an entity that you were triggering that may have been?
No. That's so how we are in our human nature, our A-type personality. We want to control it, and we want to figure it out. We want to have the answers and allow someone to remind us. And there's aspects of us that we can't always see. You know, our eyes face forward for a reason. Our eyes have peripheral for a reason. In this physical body, it's all lessons and teachers. We don't have eyes in the back of our head, right? But we do feel, we protect ourselves. That's why we cover our heart and all these things. And in that moment, it was more of the, you know, watching the body language of this client, you know, protecting and getting mad and covering their power center and just, you know, squishing down like that. And it was out of her comfort zone, because it was asking to look at aspects of herself that were still, I don't want to say, how do I say it? That were still lying to herself, that were lying in her life, that she wasn't being truthful in. And, you know, like for me, I'm pretty, you know, A-type personality. Like I want to be right. I want to make sure I'm like, you know, I got, you know, all my ducks in a row, and I know what I'm talking about. And so when someone challenges that to you, we have one of two ways of going. Either we soften and we hear it and receive it, or we, you know, take action and defend it and fight it. You know, there's, you know, that polarity thinking arises. Either this is right or it's wrong. It's good or it's bad. I'm good. Goes back into all those own self-worth issues. But when we soften and say, what is in this for me? What is triggering me, and why? And how can I unpack this present of this trigger, not package or not the dark, icky shadow? Like, what is it that's in it for me that can help my growth? And yeah, it's just
Transformation.
right. It's just it's incredible to see that with clients, and to I don't know, it makes me so grateful that I said yes, said yes to me. Like,
Yeah.
let's get weird. Let's say the word psychic. Let's say the word entrepreneur. Let's start a business. Let's trust and not know where this is going to go or where it's going to take me. Like, all I know is what I know and what I'm educated on and certified in. And I come with this, and I'm listening, and I want to learn. And it's just literally that, showing up and saying yes. Get as weird as you want. It's learning to not make any fear-based decisions. Make your decisions out of love and passion and curiosity and power and poignancy and, integrity. And what do you really want? For all of us, like, do you love your job? Then quit. You're going to be okay. You're not going to die. Your life is not going to be over. Follow a passion of yours. Yes, you might not have money, but you can call that in. And when we follow our passions, it follows, right? It's that flow, that vibration, that energy. And I remember when people would tell me this, it would like, what are you talking about? What are you smoking? But it's a real thing. Everything is energy. And yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I know, I'm the first, I mean, I feel like when I heard that, like everything is energy, it resonated with me and I was like, ah, that's truth. But there have been a few other things people have told me and I was like, what? And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I say because it makes so much sense. And I love the common thread here is trust. Now, even in that session, you're like, I trust this, I trust this, I trust this. And one of the things that I like really, really teach on is just highlighting and helping people observe that we tend to give our power away in so many areas. Like we will, whether that's drugs or that's alcohol or that's like, I don't trust my own opinion, so I'm going to double check with every single person that I know. Like we give away our power, and that, I mean, that's okay because those things, like for example, asking for advice, they can serve us, but we have to be really conscious and aware of like, are we giving away our power? Instead, what would it take for us to tune inward and trust? And I feel like you're a really beautiful example of that. So thank you. Well, how can people connect with you? We're definitely going to drop down below or above your information, your website, things like that. But what is the best way if somebody wanted to set up a session or if they had questions and want to do like a discovery or a clarity call, where would they go?
Definitely my website. It's KeiaLavine.com. I think there's wildwomanproject.org. There's a few of them. KeiaLavine.com is the easiest. And all the information's there. You can schedule a session, schedule a call. You can look at the upcoming events at the studio. Tonight we're having an Akashic Records reading, and Saturday is the New Moon Circle for women. And we have Moon Day Yoga, Latin Yoga with Good Elephant there on Tuesdays. Just really exciting stuff happening. We're also having the Reimagine Wellness Fair, and that's coming up August 18th. Contacting me is pretty easy. Email, phone, Facebook. Like I'm pretty nonchalant. I don't really try to set up rules or boundaries like you have to contact me through this way. I'm pretty approachable, and I think we're all in this together. And yeah.
Okay, great. So what, that's perfect. And again, you guys will drop that down below. What are some final words of wisdom that you'd love to share with our audience today?
Final words of wisdom. What are you doing today to nourish yourself? What are you doing today to trust yourself? What are you doing today to move forward with your passion, your goals? I had an incredible teacher who one time told me that this is your one life. This is not a rehearsal. You don't get a do-over. This is it. This is the one life that you get to live. So are you living it? Are you truly living it? Are you in relationships that make you happy, that spark that joy, that make you feel like you're expansive? Or are you involved in careers or relationships or friendships that are just, they make you feel depleted? Notice these things. Pay attention to yourself. Your body is your subconscious. Your body is your number one, like it has all the answers. It holds and contains everything. And if you listen to that and look to that and ask that yourself, those aspects of yourself, those questions, like, how do I feel right now? If I don't like how I feel, what can I do to change it? Raising vibrations, turning on some music, go buy myself some flowers, go have fun, dance, move, get that energy moving. And I think it's, what are you doing today? What are you doing today to live? What are you doing today to live fucking passionately, purposefully, powerfully? Like, we don't have to live in our woundings anymore. We can put that old chapter behind. We all have trauma. And it's not to say that none of it is valid or unimportant, but we don't have to live in that and suffer through that either. It's energy as well. We can change the story. We can change the narrative. We can nourish ourselves and live an abundant, prosperous, full life.
I love that so much. And thank you, Keia, for hopping on here today. I'm smiling because when you're talking about buying yourself flowers, it's something that everything that you said was magnificent. But like buying yourself flowers, it's something that is so simple, but it will make you feel so good. Just like, I'm buying these for me today. And then every time you walk past them, it's like a little wink, you know? And
Hey.
we tend to, and I am very guilty of this, and I work on it all the time, is not overcomplicating it. And so just know it can be as simple as that, or as wondrous everything else that you had described. So thank you again so much for being featured or being on here today for Thought Leader Thursday. I love you, and I am so honored to be by your side and to be here in Reno, Nevada with you and seeing your growth. Again, you guys, KeiaLavine.com. I'll post it below and above, and you guys you should definitely connect with her.
Hey. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashley. It's been a pleasure.
Bye, guys.
Mwah.